reversal that we saw in the grand finals of Season 10.
Interesting. It looks like more teams are actually opting to be on the blue side this time this Sunday. And we're not seeing a Yves ban coming out from Team Hawk. We're actually seeing the Kaja ban instead.
So that means they're prepared to deal with the Eve. This is going to be very obvious for TDK. They have allowed that through. And the reason that Team Hawk were so afraid of the hero previously is because it provides so much mid lane control, the thing that they're most wary of. They'll go for the Valentina first pick, basically saying, if you take Eve, we will have Eve too.
Yep, and that's the thing. Whenever you ban out Fredrin, Valentina is the second in terms of the most flexible heroes that you can actually first pick when you are on blue side. Now, TDK on the other hand, Arla is still available. Again, honestly, plenty of things are available. I'm surprised that Arla is getting through this many times.
Especially since Momo has already demonstrated how scary he is. Part of the reason why TDK was able to win team fights so cleanly was because when Yumes is pulling someone away to get melted down, it is the Arla that is distracting 3 or 4 people at once.
Just shows how good Arlet is in the meta as of yet. And it looks like it's going to be the Martis lock-in as well as the Arlot here. Yep, there we go, both locked in. Very interesting opener coming up from the side of TDK. They already have an enabler, they already have a strong EXP laner. I think Team Hawk might want to consider some of the counter matchups in lane against this Arlot. It depends what they want, right? Do they want to win that 1v1 or would they rather somebody who can force priority? In both cases, Glue and Benedetta come to mind.
The difficulty here is that Lola as an EXP lane player isn't really the type that wins out 1v1s. He typically will want to dead the lane, buy time, scale up, and just pressure through his presence. That's why it can be a bit difficult for him to deal with the Arlet and why Tamas was the most obvious choice for him in Game 1.
Well, let's see. Well, they're going to go with the Claude this time, and as well as the Thamos once more. They realize, okay, Thamos pretty good in the early levels against the Arla. I have no arguments there whatsoever, but when it comes down to the bigger picture of these team fights and the shape of how it looks, that's when it gets a little awkward. Like, imagine if you're Claude, right? You're coming in with a Blazing Duet, you battle mirror image, you've got all the stacks in the world, full items, and then you get pushed aside. Literally pushed aside by the final slash.
Well, there's the Brody right there. We were talking about this hero not getting a lot of chance to shine, but now it's going to be in the hands of Chiku guys. And when you see Chiku guys playing Brody, one thought has to come to your mind. Are they going to cheese the EXP lane?
We'll see. We'll see if they do. But TDK is going to stick to their guns on the red side bans. They ban out the Atlas. We're seeing the Yves get banned out for the side of Hog. That's very good. They're making sure they're getting rid of the mid laners while TDK is getting rid of the roamers.
The question is, do they want to ban out the Pharsa as well, just to remove all safe artillery options from the hands of Flint here? Might not be the worst choice considering how much damage it was doing previously, but that was also because there was a solid catch from TDK. So now that they don't have Dirov, now that they don't have Kaja, Team Hawk should feel a lot safer.
Yeah, I would imagine that Team Hawk will also get rid of the Pharsa, because then the real question, because what exactly does Valentina steal? Like, what ult do you really want? A Decimate, the final slash, the Torn Apart Memories? I mean, the most valuable would be Torn Apart Memories, but now even, okay, TDK are the one who's banning out the Dyroth.
No,
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure the most valuable ultimate to steal right now is actually the final slash. It is just way too good. We've seen Valentina steal it, set up for the team, and Man does like doing things like that. So since they're comfortable with that, they're okay with banning Pharsa, which does leave Flint in a bit of a difficult situation. Now, one mage that has been let through until now is the Kadita. Do you think this is possible?
I think it's absolutely possible considering the matchups that they have. I mean, having an extra Petrify is always good, especially when the Blazing Duet is going to be a legitimate threat. But I feel like I want something interesting. You know, I woke up with I woke up choosing Violence, and I hope that TDK did too. Lock in the Julian.
Ooh, I would love to see that. Julian going to be able to provide a fair bit of early game pressure once he does hit that level 3. Alternatively, something like Lunox provides... Ooh! Kagura for the... I can't believe it's the first time this whole season that we're seeing Kagura. I think it's a hero that's just consistently very reliable, but does lack in terms of consistent damage.
When we're talking about, I hate bringing up these points, but it just keeps on coming up. I thought I could save it for the rest of the season, but I'm going to bring it up now. So mid lane's Swiss Army knife is Kagura.
Yes.
As explained before, she doesn't have a lot of bad matchups. Even in the good matchup, she doesn't do that well. So she's kind of an in-betweener, and I think it's overall good because it denies a solid ult for Valentina overall while still being able to have that extra bit of range to zone her out.
Kagura is a very classic MLBB hero, and Flint is a very classic MPL player. So honestly, if anyone's going to play it, it's going to be him, and I'm very excited to see it, as we can see Team Hawk finishing off their draft with the Kufra, as well as the Ling, who currently has a 0% win rate. Ooh, feels rough with his hero.
Gary might be able to change that, but I gotta give props to Coach Pops, where it's like, hey, we're gonna lock you in. We're gonna get you Ling, but more importantly, we also have to get the counter pick of Kufra away, because that's gonna disrupt our overall composition.
I'm really scared for Team Hawk though, because Claude, Valentina, and Ling are all late game heroes. That is a lot of pressure on Min as well as Lola to just bolster the early game and not allow for Todak to invade. And speaking of invading, there's the Hilda. This is an early game Todak draft, and it's gonna be up to Team Hawk to see how they deal with it.
Yeah, this is. Oh, it's not gonna be easy for sure. Even with the compositional AIs, was leaning more towards Team Hawk side, but I don't think it had enough time to really evaluate the entire composition that we were seeing from Todak. So I don't know. Gold lane might get really, really rough for Hito here. Let's see how comfortable he is on the Swiss Army knife gold laners in comparison to the jock, the bully, Brody in the gold lane.
I'm so excited to see Chiku guys playing on Brody once again, as we can see Todak leaning heavily in kill pressure, pick up, early game, and utility. Team Hawk, their team fight is still strong, their push is still effective, but we already saw what happens when Todak claims an early game lead. So the Land of Dawn will open up once more, but who will be the one to leave it victorious in game number 2?
It's going to be Team Hawk on the blue side up against Todak on the red side. Moments before disaster for any one of these teams, but Yums is already searching for his target. Doesn't see him by purple side, so he definitely is on orange.
Yep, this is often the strategy that's going to be used by junglers nowadays when they know that there's a Hilda on the opposite side. But Yums, he's aware of this. He is ready and willing to wait until this Ling shows himself.
Yep. Oh, just look at the amount of punishment Hito is getting in lane. Brody lanes are so annoying to deal with.
Always gotta be careful. They're not going for the cheese here as Min jumps in, tries to get the stun. Chiku guy's in a lot of...
Oh, he's level 2! Oh no!
He jumps away. He tries to go for the stun to escape, but Hito gets the first blood thanks to the intervention of Min.
Oh my goodness, that's so unfortunate. Chiku could have actually outplayed that. He was very close. If he actually got his corrosive strike on towards Hito, that could have been so different.
But now Yums, his patience has paid off. Here comes Gary. Man is here, but he doesn't have a lot of mana, but it is enough. Oh, here comes Min as well. Yums, he is going to be slain by Gary of all people, but they've delayed him long enough. Rival is level 4. Gary cannot take this fight. Min, he's still around. Man has no mana, and Flint is here to provide backup. Gary looking for the retribution. I think he got it. He did secure that. As Min, he drops real low. Decimate from Rival, but he walks into the tower. Was it worth it? I don't think so.
Oh, great communication coming out from the side of Team Hawk. A great 50-50 coin flip on that retribution for the purple buff, and now Gary can actually take the initiative against Todak.
Here comes Lola. He's buying time against Yums and Momo. Yums, he's just ignoring Gary entirely, going for the Tamas, who pops the Vengeance. Lola, he's still alive. He finally gets picked off. Now Gary is the one in danger. Vengeance from Momo jumps onto him, but Gary will dash away. No HP means he cannot challenge Turtle.
Yep, that was played really well by Gary as well as Momo. Momo saving his flicker until the very last second. Also getting a great fight.
Oh! Ooh, nice flicker from Man. That could have been very dangerous. Flint nearly getting the Yin Yang overturned.
Yeah, I mean, just the commitment from these teams. They're playing as if every single interaction is the end of the world here, and they have to make the best of the situation. But now, if we were talking about tempo, Team Hawk is the one that's setting the pace.
Gary, he's going to be able to steal away the jungle from Rival there. That's pretty good for him, since we see Yums is camping his orange buff, as Flint misses the Yin Yang overturn there. Min jumping in, the Purify from Kagura, able to get her away in the form of her second skill.
Now, I didn't mention this earlier, but oh, Lola, don't get into an interaction when I'm doing an explanation, man. Oh, he's not gonna die, right?
Pops his ultimate, he doesn't have vengeance, he's taking a lot of damage, and Rival with the decimate will mean that that final bit of HP means nothing.
Lola, you gotta wake up, my guy. You gotta be able to path towards your nearest friend, and that was supposed to be Mon, but you can't expect him to walk all the way to you and pass over another kill. With that, Todak will take that bottom tier 1. I'll save my point for some other time, maybe the highlights.
Definitely feels like Lola is overestimating a little bit his survivability as the Tamas. He's thinking that he'll survive long enough for his team to come and provide backup. But this hero nowadays, this type of hero just doesn't regen enough to survive in the damage meta.
Min being spotted out.
Does Min want to go for this? Chiku, he got the stack, but yeah, not enough damage yet to go for this.
No, they're sniffing out the Arla. They haven't spotted him out just yet. They notice that bottom side is already missing, and then there we go. Momo already showing himself mid.
Yep, Mon will be able to provide this information of the Team Hawk, but they still have to be wary. They know that Yumes is probably still in the area. Not sure about Clint's presence. The Hilda will show himself. Their goal right now is to give Chiku guys as much of the gold shield as possible. That's one of the benefits of the Brody. Breaks down structures incredibly quickly, but Team Hawk is still here to defend.
Yeah, but notice this, right? Rival, even though he had a level lead earlier, Gary has given up the score pretty fast. Oh, no.
Yumes could be in danger. Ooh, Dream and Yin Yang overturned! Right into the final slash! Team Hawk is decimated with a triple kill to Momo!
Oh, they didn't realize how bad their position was until it was too late, and now Turtle falls into their hands, and Team Hawk are scrambling for resources. They gotta get out of there. They can't afford to give more kills to Todak at this stage.
Rival, he wants to steal the purple buff away as Min realizes I should not have jumped in here. He wanted to set up for Gary. He actually retreats it. Gary still has his purple buff, but the top lane going to lose its tier 1 after this.
Yep, but Gary, he's self-sufficient. He immediately goes down to the bottom side while Team Hawk pressures the mid lane.
This is the trade right now. Team Hawk, they know that Todak are in control of the team fight, so they gotta trade structures wherever possible. Gary, a very effective player in doing this. His split push will be the key to keeping Team Hawk in the game as of right now. He gets jumped on. Rival trying to engage up here as well. Not able to complete the fight as Gary able to escape from the clutches of Todak here as well.
Oh, I thought Gary was in so much trouble. They weren't able to destroy the tier 1. Lola, don't die. Okay, he doesn't die, thank God. So tier 1 is still alive at this point of time. 4 to the side of Todak on the EXP lane. It's basically considered dead. It's barely got any HP, but Yume's continuing to feed that information over to Todak. You can see that their movements are becoming cleaner. They're sending Chiku down to the bot side, knowing that it's safe because of the information from Yumes.
My goodness, look at the damage that Yumes has output this entire game. In fact, Todak all on top in terms of the damage ranking, probably thanks to the triple kill that was set up previously by Flint, who is doing an excellent job in Kagura's debut game here in Season 11.
Oh my goodness, Todak is getting away with too much. You know, they can't, I mean, Team Hawk unfortunately can't stop Yumes. Nobody has enough of a lead to actually put him back into his place, so they're just covering their angles as much as they can. They understand that the purple buff is by far the most important, but so does Todak. With a 4K lead, they're on their way there.
And while they're thinking about Yumes, the rest of Todak is just farming off. A really nice CC by Rival. Here comes Yumes as well. Not sure who got that purple buff. Min gets a 2-man ultimate by the Kufra. Final slash gonna be knocking 2 people away. Here comes the Blazing Duet, doing a lot of damage in the backline as Rival will be the one picked off here. Min somehow surviving all of it.
Oh, that actually worked out really well. And this is one of the few fights that Hito actually made an impact here, getting enough damage onto Rival and allowing the rest of his team to actually escape and pulling attention towards himself in the middle of a heated fight.
Hito on the Claude has become his signature pick here in MPL MY, and you can definitely see why. Even though he likes to be aggressive, he still knows that he needs to scale up. He needs to know how many items that he requires in order to join fights. And as long as he can contribute that damage, Team Hawk will be able to play around him.
Yeah, but now I would expect, oh, the turtle reset. That is so unfortunate.
Meanwhile, Gary gonna be using this turtle reset to get some split push in. He doesn't really mind Yumes too much, but he also can't take too much damage, so he'll be forced to use the Tempest of Blades to force this minion wave forward. Yumes He's doing a lot of damage here. Gary, he knows he'll get away, but he is trading the turtle for this.
Yeah, again, Todak is just harassing Gary as much as they can, and especially with Yums, that's his goal. Oh!
Rival, he's trying to jump in. Decimate has been stolen by Man. They're looking for this right now. Flint, he still has Yin Yang Overturn available. Todak want to go for the top tier too, but Team Hawk are all in the area right now, and they're not worried about the split push because the bottom lane towers are all gone anyway. Purple buff going to be the point of contention. Min is looking for the engage. He gets stunned by Momo, so that's kind of unfortunate here. Yin Yang Overturn onto Man. He is able to dash away in time as Min will become the target. He's looking for the ultimate, but he gets stopped by Rival, who dashes backwards, and Vengeance has already been used by Lola. Ooh, the Torn Apart Memory finishing off the Tamis, meaning that Team Hawk can no longer defend this area.
Yeah, too many stacks applied onto Lola. Nothing much he can really do there. Here, he is having a really, really rough game, unable to stay even against the rest of Todak, and Momo continuing to be a nuisance. But Jiku, guys, now that he has that Winds of Nature, now with access to Wind-Chant, Hito becomes less of an issue.
It's so easy for Todak to just dive onto Team Hawk with this kind of lineup because they know that Hito and Gary still need a little bit more time to come online. And having Yums to just provide information is so crucial. Team Hawk, they're having difficulty dealing with this Hilda right now.
Yeah. And it's only going to get worse from here on out, right? Does he steal it? Okay, no. Yums just feeding that information again. Topside? What's happening at topside, though?
Gary, he tried to take that 1v1. I would assume he got knocked off the wall by Momo right there. The CC from the Arlet. Look at how much he's regenning right now. This hero is a pain in the butt in the hands of Momo from Todak.
Yeah, as well as the fact that he decided to take Unbending Will. Oh my goodness. He's building full tank. He's got the Fury Hammer on top of it all. If he ever wants the spec into the Hunter Strike for later stages, arguably he could go for Sea Halberd if he wants a bit more burst. Really depends. I mean, the sky's the limit for him right now.
What's interesting is that this is actually a switch up for Momo. He went with Tenacity in game 1 on the same hero, so I'm assuming he's actually going for a slightly different build here, and that indicates that Momo has enough mastery of Arlet that he's able to switch up builds and emblems based on the enemy team composition.
I think he's identified two facts. Number one is that he needs to be able to actually apply pressure in this lane, and Concussive Blast just doesn't give him that, right? And when you're going up against people like Man and people like Gary, they're all very burst heavy, so as long as he builds full tank, he will eventually have an opportunity to actually retaliate against Team Hawk, because nobody can 100-0 him, especially with a full tank build.
Especially since Team Hawk doesn't have a lot of burst either. It's all consistent damage over time that can be healed up by Momo very easily. So Todak, they are in the driver's seat, completely comfortable. They take the Lord for free. Team Hawk, they want to go for cross-map plays with Gary, but even that is difficult when Todak are just able to split up their forces everywhere.
I mean, the macro from Todak, again, extremely excellent. This is the few things that Todak is consistent overall in. Maybe it's not their weird picks, but just look at the way that they're playing this map, right? They're forcing up forward. They're making sure if anybody touches the waves, they will get instantly punished. They're escorting that Lord, and you can see Gary, he's trying to stagger. No, don't tell me he dies here again.
He will survive, but he has to dash away, which means he'll be delayed in returning to defend his base. So this inhibitor in a lot of danger. Yums, he's gonna get stunned away, but the tower has already fallen to the damage coming out of Chiku as Rival is dealing with Lola in the mid lane. The Lord will eventually get taken out, but with the waves sinking, Todak, they're looking for at least one more. Chiku, he does more than enough damage.
Oh!
Flicker jumps in, ultimate on two people. Min sets it up, gets the kill onto Chiku, onto Flint as well. Momo with the final slash, not going to be able to save them or retaliate.
A good high ground attack, but the retaliation from Hawk, similar to game number 2, they found this turnover, but now, how do they get that 5K gold lead back from Todak? They really have nothing to punish. The timing was great on Todak's side. The decision to commit, the decision to actually get the inhibitor, and almost getting a second one in the process is definitely worth those 2 kills.
Min, he's gonna jump forward again, but Yums has learned his lesson from last time. Todak, they definitely overextended their stay and underestimated the ability of Min to find these opportunistic pickups, but they're not gonna let that happen a second time. Their adaptability is one of their key points, and although Team Hawk found a really good way to rebound there, they need to make that more consistent.
Yep, but I mean, can you really blame them? I would argue that Momo played that situation the best, dashing in, dashing back out, utilizing the fact that Hito was actually in the backline to give him a free escape route.
Gary trying to bait out. He knows Yum is in the area, but look, Momo, here he comes. Final four people, sets it up, and he's regenerating everything. Tempest ablaze. Hito is the first one taken out. Torn apart memory, doing massive damage as Min gets a two-man ultimate, but he falls as a double kill, and Chico gets the triple. What? You can't just pause in that sort of situation right there. Todak dismantling Team Hack and forcing them back into their base.
Dude, what a bad time. What a bad time for that to occur. Momo making an incredibly good decision there, walks up with starts things off with a final slash. I was wondering, how is he going to open this up? Is he just going to face check it, or is he going to final slash it? Is he going to try, first skill into it? Like, how is he going to handle it? Great choice with the final slash. Catches 4. I think he was expecting at least 2. I don't think he was expecting 4 people there.
Definitely not. And you have to wonder if Team Hack were hesitating, or if they were wondering if they could catch Momo off guard, because when you see that Arlet approaching at that angle, it's very clear that Momo is going to do something to that brush. And when he did, it was way too late for them to respond. They get dismantled, taken down one by one, and this is a huge problem. This is a winning push from Todak.
Yep, and honestly, I would say that Team Hack, the decision for the ambush was good, but there has to be certain conditions that need to be met, right? And I think one of the conditions which they kind of hyper-fixated on was, hey, if it's Momo, he's not exactly high on the priority list, so let's wait a little bit longer to see whether anybody else is going to show up. But as we saw earlier, Todak, they were clearing that bottom side jungle to get the information whether or not they had potential follow-ups from a different angle that they haven't covered from the side of Team Hack. They didn't want that high ground defense to happen all over again.
Well, either way, mistakes have already been made, and although we are in a short pause to make sure that we're able to troubleshoot technical issues, I'm not really sure if this is a situation that Team Hack can come back from. We can talk about the mistakes they made, we can talk about the lack of initiative to go on to Momo in that situation all we want. What matters is that it has happened. Team Hack, 3 members down, 2v5 with Todak pushing into the base.
Yep, and they also have a wave down on bot side, if I remember correctly. So, well, looks like the teams are getting their final checks in with the marshals. Thanks to our marshals, by the way. These guys are really on the ball with this stuff.
Yep, it is thanks to them that we're able to bring these games back in the first place, right? Whenever we have technical pauses, obviously we're sad, we're a little disappointed that the momentum has been stopped. But if they weren't around to make sure that integrity is maintained, it would take even longer than usual. Looks like we've gotten the signal. The game is about to return. We'll witness whether or not Team Hack will defend this, but Todak are pushing straight in. Crystal is exposed. They have a minion wave. They take down Lola, Gary, the only survivor, and they know this game is over. Flint even jumping in for that final taunt. Todak, the 2-0 victory, claimed their revenge against the defending champions of Season 10.
GG, well played. Todak once again looking more in form today. A lot better than their Friday matchup. Today looking even stronger. Nicely done.
Excellent gameplay, perfect performance. Flint has found a home here in Todak. And the way that these players have coordinated and synergized didn't even allow Team Hack the opportunity to come back from any deficit. The late game was never an option with Todak having a lineup like this.
Oh,